Right, okay guys, so I thought I'd do a channel update because obviously the last few months have been quite hectic for me. There's been a lot going on with me especially. So I thought I'd do a channel update because obviously things have changed on the channel, etc, etc. So, and I'm not going to lie, I have got a list. So there's a lot of things I've got to try and remember, and there's no way on earth I was going to remember this without writing them down. So first of all, health. Where's my health at? Well, I went back to work 3 weeks ago, so I'm in my third week now. You know, I'm gradually getting back into the swing of things. I mean, it's not easy. They are long shifts. They are 12 hours. I do 4 on, 4 off. So I kind of find that at the moment I'm really needing my 4 to recover. Yeah, it's taken its toll on me, but there's a reason for that, because I'm having trouble sleeping. Now, if you watched my video before, then this will be no news to you. You'll know what went on. But basically, I had abdominal surgery. There was a mistake made. I wasn't put on a particular thinner that I should have been put on. 3 weeks later, I had to go back to hospital with what they call a pulmonary embolism. Basically, I ended up with, I had a blood clot that had travelled from my leg up to my lungs. In fact, multiple, I was told. Which put me in a lot of pain, and to be honest, could have killed me. So as a result, I've got them, and they don't go quickly. I mean, you could be looking at 3 months minimum. I'm on blood thinners, so I have to be very careful that I don't cut myself, etc. And I've been on them for 9 weeks now. Basically, you're looking at a minimum of 3 months before blood clots shift from your lungs. So if you look here at the very minimum, I've got another 3 weeks of this minimum. It can last for over a year. I really hope it doesn't, because going back to what I was saying about having trouble sleeping, the reason I'm having trouble sleeping is because I can't lay on my sides or my back, because your lungs ache. Now this is the thing, I had this ache before I realised I had the blood clots. So clearly I already had the start of this a week or so before I knew it. You know, it was only when I ended up in agony and I coughed a blood clot up that I knew something was wrong. But I clearly had this issue a couple of weeks leading up to it. Basically, it's normal. It's normal that you get this ache. And it basically feels like you've had a kicking. It feels like you've just done a few rounds with Mike Tyson. You know, and to a point where you can't lay on your side, you can't get comfortable. So at the moment, I'm having to have a pillow right behind me, and I'm having to sleep sitting up. Now, as a result, if you sleep in a position for too long, just one position, you're going to end up getting aches and that. And normally in your sleep, you would shift and move, but obviously I don't have that option. So at times, it's a real struggle even to get like 6 hours sleep. Good example, like the last lot of sleep I got, 5 hours, that was it. So I'm sort of suffering with sleep deprivation as well, which is, if I'm honest, not good. That's the part I need the most, because you heal quicker when you sleep. So yeah, it's starting to grind me down a little bit, I'm not going to lie. You know, most people, you'll know, guys, you know, when you don't get enough sleep, nothing works properly. Your brain don't work properly. Your well-being isn't good, you know, etc, etc. So I am struggling a bit with that, but I'm getting there. Now, the other thing is mobility. So my mobility's got better. So the actual surgery site, you know, where I had the actual operation, I'm able to get around. You know, I'm still getting a little bit of uncomfortableness, but that's probably due to the nerves and that, because obviously they cut through nerves and things like that when they open you up. And some of it's coming back. You know, there is some numbness as well in areas. It's very strange. You know, occasionally you won't feel anything, and then other times you'll feel this sharp pain and you don't know why. So I'm still having to be careful, you know, when I'm sitting down and moving around. But my mobility's got a lot better. I'm finding it easier to do things, including the fact that I'm able now to walk for a period of time now. I pushed it a couple of weeks ago and walked an hour from work, which wasn't the best idea. I felt that for about 3 or 4 days afterwards. But I am able to do like 15 minutes sort of sprints. So to a point, I've been doing it 15 minutes to the bus stop and 15 minutes from the bus stop. So I'm getting my little bit of exercise in, which again is good if you've got blood clots on your lungs. It helps keep the blood flowing, helps them go, and also keeps your breathing and all that good. Because that's another thing with this, is breathing. I have to remember to take deep breaths every now and again, because that's very important. Because when you've got blood clots, because the blood's not moving around so well, apparently it can cause infections. So deep breaths several times a day is something I have to do, especially when I get out of bed. So yeah, so me working myself, not too hard, but just enough to get a little bit of exercise is great. And you know, of course, obviously, you guys will know I love my weightlifting, and I would love to get back in the gym as soon as possible. I have lost quite a bit of weight because I haven't weight trained now for, oh god, how long now? It must be about 7 or 8 months. Even when I go back to it, I'm going to have to start out very light, because obviously the surgery I had, I can't just go start banging out, you know, like 80, 100 kilo bench presses. I can't just go and do that. I'll end up hurting myself. So it's something I'm going to have to work back into. So last thing I just want to say on this actual part, is that a lot of people have been asking and, you know, saying, oh, how you doing, Lee, and all that lot. So I thought I'd add that in here so that guys know. And it's been really nice. A lot of people have reached out, you know, and they've asked how I am, and, you know, and you really don't have to. And so it's great when people do that. It's a nice thought to think that someone's thought of you. So, and you know, it's not been easy. I'm not going to make out it has been. You know, it might seem like it is when I'm talking about it on here, but it hasn't been easy. It especially hasn't been easy on my family. You know, my youngest, my eldest, and obviously my wife. Mainly my wife, because she's having to run around and do things. She's doing a little less now because I'm starting to be able to do things. But she, you know, for a good few months, she's been running around, and to a point where her health has took a knock as well. So yeah, it's important to just say thanks to everyone. Now, that leads into something else. Now, when you've had something like this happen, you do start to look at life differently. And it just so happens that that's going to be a topic on the latest Retro 5 stream. And that's going to be on the 19th of April, 8 PM on Retro Chef's channel. Now, this is going to be the first one for this year. Obvious reasons. You know, I haven't been right for months. And the guys didn't really feel up to doing it, so we haven't done one until now. So, yeah, so Retro 5, Wednesday, 8 PM. And yeah, that's my topic. You know, it's going to be along the lines of, you know, looking at life differently. So I just thought it'd be an interesting thing, because I think with the Retro 5, you know, all right, we talk about gaming, we talk about movies, we've even done cartoons. But we very rarely, you know, talk about things personal. And I just thought I wanted to add that, because I noticed there's been a shift in the way I look at things since all this happened. So I wanted to ask any of the other guys if they'd had something similar, and if they had, what was it, you know, etc, etc. So yeah, I thought I'd add that in there as my topic. So yeah, Retro 5, 8 PM, 19th, which is this Wednesday, on Retro Chef's channel. Right, got to look at my notes. I've remembered all that, but I've got to look down. Right, okay, so I've been enjoying also doing movie stuff on the channel. So that's come back. And I say come back because we used to do it originally. When the channel started out, the reason I called it Nerdy Geezer was because it was never meant to be just about gaming. It was meant to be about all sorts of things that were nerdy. You know, we even did things where me and Connor did videos where we was painting models, you know, like talked about movies. Movies was a big part of it. Collectibles and things like that. But unfortunately, what happened was several things that stopped that. Number one, it seemed to confuse people. We would get people come over and start watching us for the movie stuff, but then when we did the gaming, they'd go. And vice versa. It kept happening. That also, and the fact that it seemed to mess with people finding our channel. I think YouTube got confused as to what our channel was. So I started, you know, moving them things off. The other thing also was that over that time, very few films were coming out because it was during COVID. So there was less and less films to talk about. And so as a result, it sort of shifted away then. Now, the last part also was that I fell out of love with it. Now, I'm going to explain that a little bit. I fell out of love with movies in Hollywood because of all this woke trash. Woke trash. You know, all this woke social justice, gender politic crap. I really got fed up with it, and to a point where it's like, you know what, I can't be arsed with this anymore. Like, I've watched movies since I was old enough to remember. I grew up as a film fan. You know, I watched films all the time. In fact, I did it more than I played games. And it really bothered me when you started seeing this shift, you know, where they started doing all this woke rubbish. And to a point where it's like, I really can't do this anymore. I don't want to watch this new crap. It's absolutely rubbish. It's tripe. You know, why am I wasting money? Why am I wasting my time? And the reason why I've gone back to it is because there seems to be a shift. We are getting good films again. You know, there are certain people that are going, do you know what? Screw it. We don't care about your wokeness. We don't care about your politics. Your just social justice warrior bollocks.
No way.
We're just going to do what we want to do. And as a result, we've had a couple of good films. You know, one straight off the bat I can think of is Top Gun Maverick. What a great film. You know, and that should tell Hollywood a lot. That film did really well. That should tell Hollywood a lot. You know, we don't want all this woke rubbish. We want good films. You know, these days it seems to be toxic to be a man and to be a hero. You know, it seems to be that in modern day films now, they have to dumb down the men to make the women look better. And that annoys me because as a man, I don't want to watch that. You know, that's not what I want to watch films for. And let's be honest, if you're honest with yourself, a lot of these genres of films are more generated, or were more generated for men. There was more men that really went to watch films at the cinema. Like, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. You know, like, for example, sci-fi, right? You're seeing it a lot with sci-fi. But I don't know why they're doing it, because, let's be honest, when it comes to sci-fi, it's mainly a male audience. Men ain't going to want to watch that. Why are you doing it? Now, this is the thing. We don't have a problem with this sort of thing, you know, where you got strong female characters. We've had them in the past. You know, Aliens franchise, Ripley. I mean, great character. And I don't think there's a man alive that didn't think she was a great character. Sarah Connor in the Terminator films. Again, another strong female lead. No one had an issue with that. But that's because they were well written. It was a good story. And it was done in the right way. Now, when you watch Terminator, they don't sacrifice Kyle Reese and make him look stupid in order to make Sarah Connor look better. No, they don't. What they do is they write her well to a point where she learns to be a soldier. You know, and that's what people want to see. They don't want to see all this rubbish where, oh, in order to make the woman look better, you've got to make the male look stupid. Anyway, I've talked about this for far too long. But anyway, you get my point. This is why movies have moved off the channel. But like I say, there seems to be a change, and so my love for this has come back. And basically what happened was I mentioned that I was thinking of doing a stream. And Paul said, funny enough, Paul Retrobait, he said, funny enough, I was thinking the same. Do you mind if I do it with you? And I said, no, of course not. So that got Paul on board. And then we was trying to come up with a title when I was brainstorming with some of the other members of the Retro 5. And so I said, why don't you call it No Late Fees? And of course, that's a term, you know, a lot of you kids out there probably won't know this. But this was a term for when you rented videos, games, etc. When you took them back, if you took them back late, you got a late fee. So you had to pay maybe an extra $2.99 because you'd had it a night longer than you should have. So as a result, that's where the title come from. And then obviously that naturally then progressed into the Blockbuster ticket logo, you know, to use as the logo and then the font, you know. So because it made sense, you know, no late fees. It's about movies, you know, and let's be honest, no firm was bigger than Blockbusters. So yeah, so we did our first one, and our first one was generally talking about what had come out in, you know, in Hollywood and even streaming platforms. We had a little chat about, you know, the state of things with, you know, certain programs and ideologies and all that sort of stuff. But that was just to start it off. Now, going forwards, we're going to do them sporadically. We're not going to do them every month. We're going to do them when we feel like it, really. And we're going to do specials, you know. I know for a fact Paul's going to want to do an Aliens special. He's a massive Aliens fan. And I have to admit, I love the Alien franchise too. So obviously that's going to become a special at some point. And, you know, Star Wars, I love Star Wars. Clearly that's going to be one. So, yeah, we're going to do more of them, but it's going to be at a more relaxed rate. We'll do them if and when sort of thing. So, yeah, so that's that. Then moving on. I started a laid back stream and I titled it "What You Chatting." Now, basically, what happened with that was that a lot of you guys, if you watch Retrobait, you'll probably know that he does a stream that's called Friday Wine and Dine, or Wine Down, Friday Wine Down, I think it is. Sorry, Paul, I'm butchering it. I think it's Friday Wine Down, and he does it on Fridays occasionally. And basically, he did this stream where, you know, everyone has a drink and just a general chat with mates. So what happened was I found myself at a bit of a loose end while I was off work, you know, and I'm sitting at home and I had nothing to do, and I'm not seeing anybody, you know. I was only seeing hospital staff and my immediate family, and that was it. So it was like, well, I can't really get out and see my mates. Oh, I know. What about this? And initially I said to Paul, are you thinking of doing a wind down this Friday? Because I'm at a loose end. I feel like doing a stream, you know, having a chat with you guys. And he said, oh, unfortunately, I can't do one. I've only got very limited time. Why don't you do something? And so basically when I did it, I thought, well, I've got to give it a name because it's a stream. You've got to name it something. And I mocked up this very quick, like rough thumbnail. And I just decided to call it What You Chatting. Because the whole idea of it basically is it's a stream, laid back, people jump on and off the stream. You have a chat, you know, and we just talk about anything. You know, like the first one I've done, we ended up talking about collectibles. We talked about games. We talked about Picard and Star Wars and various other things. We went into several different topics. And I've got to admit, I really enjoyed doing them because you know, there's no structure. I haven't got to sit there and, you know, bring up topics and get everything right and put little video clips on. I haven't got to do any of that. All I've got to do is just sit there and we just talk, you know, like you would when you're talking to someone in the room with you. Only you've got other people obviously watching with you and contributing in the chat. So, yeah, I really enjoyed doing them. I like the relaxed approach because you never quite know what you're going to get. And as a result, you end up with various different conversations. And one of them I did, we had Rock and Roller come on. And I really enjoyed that. That was a really good stream because... you know, he was chatting with Rock and Roller and then he started showing us some of his Bruce Lee ornaments. And I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, so that was really nice. And it was funny also because he was getting blamed for some feedback on the stream. And it turned out it wasn't actually him. It was actually ZX Tetley. so that was funny as well. The chat were like, oh, you know, turn your speakers down and all this. Like, kept saying to him, it's you. And it wasn't. It was Tetley. So, yeah, it was quite amusing. But... like I say, you know, anyone could jump on, we have a chat, and you never know where it's going to go, and that's what makes it fun. And it felt like I was basically sitting in a pub with my mates, you know, so it was a good thing. I really enjoyed it. It kind of helped me in the fact that I wasn't really socialising and I was starting to feel, you know, a little bit trapped, if you like, in my own skin, in my own flat. So it helped, you know, that was my way of getting out and socialising. So, yeah, and I'm going to do them going forwards. And, again, they're not structures. They're going to be now and again. So, the other thing is Micromaniacs came back. I don't know if you've watched this month's, but we did one at the beginning of the month. Really good stream. So, we're back with a bang with that. Going to be another one next month. Not quite sure on the date yet. But, yeah, we are back. It's going to be monthly, you know, like it was before going forwards. So, Micromaniacs is back. Yeah, so... then we've got my collectibles channel. So, in case you haven't realised, I've got a collectibles channel. I've called it NG Collectables. Nerdy Geezer Collectibles. That's what it stands for. Started it up last year. I haven't really said much about it because obviously I ended up in hospital and things like that. So I didn't see much point in really talking about it. But I've done some videos on it. Admittedly, there's quite a few shorts. But that's because obviously where I was in hospital, I couldn't really do videos. So I was doing little shorts just to keep things ticking over. So yeah, if you love your collectibles, old and new, then get over to there. I'll leave a link down below. Drop a sub because I will be covering some really nice stuff. I bought stuff over I've got stuff from the last few years that I haven't showed yet. But I also have bought stuff. And the point is, where I hadn't been right, I'd been ill. I hadn't had a chance to show any of the new stuff. And there's some really good stuff coming up, guys. Trust me on that. So, yeah, get over there. Like I say, I'll put the link down below. Get over there, drop a sub. And, yeah, you won't be disappointed. Trust me, I've got some really good stuff coming. There's already some good stuff on there, but there's some really good stuff coming. So, What else? Well, you know, plan to get back on this channel to doing my 8-bit stuff and pickups and etc, etc. Obviously you haven't seen any pickups because, well, I haven't been working, so I've been skint, so I haven't been buying anything. However, there is a pickup I got back at the beginning of January, and it's a big one, guys. I'm not going to lie, it's a big one, but I haven't had a chance to do it. I couldn't do it because obviously, again, I ended up in hospital. I was in hospital about a week after I picked it up, so as a result I haven't showed this, but it is a pretty big one. So make sure you keep an eye on the channel, guys, because that will drop over the next few weeks. And yeah, I want to get back into my 8-bit again. Obviously it's been difficult because I haven't been able to bend down, crouch down, get my computers out, because I have them stored away under my bed. I've got one of them lift up beds, so I haven't been able to get the C64, the Spectrum, the Amstrad out, but that will be changing. I've got some homebrew again that I've had for months, but I haven't been able to review, so we will be doing that. So there's going to be a lot coming up, actually, a lot that I need to fit in because I haven't had a chance to do it. And of course there will be your average things about TV and video. I've done a thing on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I did a small review on that. I did one on Picard. I also did one on oh, what was the other one? I did another one as well recently, Ahsoka, the Ahsoka trailer, and my thoughts on where I think that's going. So there's going to be things like that cropping up as well. Yeah, I've been doing my DS9 shorts and stuff like that. People are really enjoying them. And I love DS9, so, you know, it's a natural thing for me. But people have been really enjoying them. They've been coming over and watching them. And, yeah, so I've been enjoying that. So that's going to keep being a part as well. Yeah, the only other thing I want to also mention is something new. Yes, I've got a big bushy beard. And it's staying, guys. It's staying. I left it because I was in hospital. You know, the last thing on my mind was, here, love, can you bring my beard trimmer in so I can trim my beard? It was like, yeah, I can't be asked for that. And I just left it. And then the missus actually said to me, she goes, actually, I quite like the beard, you know. And she mentioned that when it's shorter, it stabs her, you know, when I kiss her. So she actually prefers it like this because it's nice and soft, you know. Now, what I didn't realise is the amount of work it goes in. You've got to put into these, you know. You've got to get your beard oils and comb it and all that stuff. Otherwise, you get all dry skin, and then you get like kind of dandruff in your beard. And when you put the oil in, obviously it makes it soft and it helps you shape it. It's a lot of work. Like, people don't realise when people have got these big, massive beards, there's a lot of work goes into that. It's kind of an art style. You know, there's a bit of art to it, and I'm realising this now. So yeah, you know, maybe occasionally I'll give you a bit of advice on big beards. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's been a bit of a long one, but obviously there's been a lot to try and fit in. There's a lot I've had on my chest I've wanted to get off, and I'm just glad that I can do videos again. You know, like, I've missed this. I've missed this. This has become an important part of my life, if you like, for quite some time. And I've really noticed where it's been pulled away from me, you know. So I'm glad I'm able to do it again. And I'm glad I'm still here. Let's put it that way. Things could have gone horribly wrong. Things could have been a lot worse, you know. So I'm just happy that I'm here and I can still do this and I can still talk to you guys. So yeah, I'm getting a bit philosophical now, a bit mushy, but you know, I've missed this. I'm not going to lie. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.